Okay, let's take a look at GALE opposing viewpoints. So this is another really good resource. You're going to notice some similarities between this one and SIRS, which I talked about in the previous slide. So let's take a look at how you can access it. And again, you're going to go through ClassLink. So I'll go to my ClassLink tab. And then just remember you want to go to your library resources. And then I'm looking for, there's lots of GALE databases, right? So this company, we have quite a few databases from. They're really good, that's why. And so we want to look for this GALE opposing viewpoints. This is a good one, okay? So let's go ahead and go to that. And then just like with SIRS database, if you see a Google symbol, this G, and says sign in with Google, go ahead and do that so that you can send things that you find that you think you might use to your Google Drive. So I've signed in as myself, and so now I can send things to myself. So let's take a look at some issues of interest. So let's take a look at this one, anti-racism. That's a really good one. We're going to explore that. You can see here if you browse a little further, have some topics in different categories. You'll see they have like 3 or 4 listed under each one. They have many more than that. So this is just a sample. And then you can also browse all of the issues if you have one in particular that you're really interested in looking at. I really like this one. So I'm going to explore the anti-racism topic. I think this is a really timely topic. We should all be thinking more about that. So when you go to any topic, it'll give you an overview. So I'm on the overview page. I really love that. I just want to point out a couple of things here. You notice here it says you can do highlights and notes, and I'm going to show you that in a minute. You can read more, and it's going to take you to a full article. So right on that previous page, I was on kind of just the getting started page. When I click on see more, it takes me to the whole article. And so I want to point out some features that you have anytime you're in an article in this database. So right now I'm in the document. You can see I went from home to anti-racism to the document. It's a very recent article. Gives me some basic information here of where it came from. This is their online collection. Tells you how many words there are. I don't know their content levels that well, so I don't know. Just in case you're interested, you can see the Lexile reading level, although again, that's not something you really need, but it's there. Then over here, you have some options. You can have the document translated, and again, they're not perfect translations, but I think it can be helpful if you want to read this in your own language or another language. You can certainly choose to do that. You can make the print larger or smaller here. You can listen to it, so it will read to you, which isn't, again, it's not great. It's it's not a real voice, but it's still something that can help you if it's easier for you to listen. You can send an article to your drive, email it to yourself, or both. If you're like me, I probably would do both. And then this is an option to download, which you probably won't use, or to print, which you also probably won't use. So those are my options there. And then you also see there's a toolbar up here. I can get the citation, which is what you need if you have to have a works cited or a bibliography list for your research project. Anytime a teacher says you have to do that, this is where you can get the citation. It's very simple. I'm going to use this article to help me and give me information, then I need to put a citation, and it's right here. I can send it to Noodle Tools if I'm using that. I can also copy and paste it into a document. Lots of options. I can send it to my drive. I can get a link to the article, and I can make highlights and notes. And so I'll show you how to do that when we're in the article. Anywhere you see a blue word, that means that you can click on it and it will take you to other articles about that word, or perhaps more information about it. Right here you can see I've got sidebar, which is just some main ideas. I really like that. This is something that just gives me some basic information to help me understand. So I don't usually hide that. And then article itself is down below. You'll see here that it gives me a list of related subjects. There are a lot of topics related to this. Related articles I could possibly read or look at if I feel like this is a good article. I feel like I could use this. What are some related articles that have additional information? So lots of stuff here. And as a librarian, I get really excited about that. And it's okay, you can make fun of me, but this is a great way to make your research very easy. And you can get some really good quality, excellent information about a topic to help you learn more and become more of an expert yourself. And then here is the article content. Sometimes an article, if it's longer, will give you a way to skip certain sections. And so I can click on those to get to those sections. So say I find a really interesting part that I like, I can highlight it, right? And then it's going to give me some options. I can, if I highlight it, the text, I can click on a color and I can say used in introduction. If I want to do that, and then I can save it. Now, if I send this article to my drive, all of my notes and highlights will be in that article in my Google Drive. I think that's an awesome way. If you're used to putting notes into documents and you're used to having a printed copy to do that with, which I usually do, but sometimes I just can't, this really helps. So I have found that being able to highlight and put notes directly into the document works great. If you're working with a group or a partner, you can do that as well. You can put in highlights and notes, and then you can send it to your drive and share it with your partners or your group. So they can also see, hey, these are the notes that I put into that article. So nice way to, if you can't have a printed in your hand copy, you can still put notes in it. So I just like to point that out, and then those will stay there unless I decide to delete it. And then if I click on this, it will also show me any that I have in my list. So that's a really awesome way to make good use of the tools that are in this database. If I go back to this anti-racism page, it was just one article, I can see there are way more here. So look at all of these. I have different viewpoints, videos, journals, websites. So just like in SIRS, GALE is giving me some websites. There are some audio files. It can be a lot of different things, and we'll look at that. Infographics. And then you can also look at related topics, but all of that is listed down below here. So their featured viewpoints are the ones that they really want to call attention to about this topic, right? And you can see here where it came from, the date, how many words, things like that, right? And then they're showing you their different reading levels with, I think, this little dot matrix here. So I think they must have a scale of 1 to 5. You'll be able, I think, to manage any of these articles. And then over here, they have additional viewpoints with articles related to those. A reference article here, infographics, images, so images that you can maybe use. Audio, so there's a couple here. They have way more than that, but they're listing 2 right here. One from National Public Radio, or they're actually both from National Public Radio about that topic. And then some additional videos showing issues related to that. Magazine articles, news articles, academic journals, websites. So I love that. Right here, they're listing 3 of their own websites, but I think they take you out. Oh, so here's Boston University. So GALE has decided these are websites that are trustworthy that you can use on this topic. Because believe me, if you Google anti-racism, you know you're going to get millions of results, and that you're going to have a lot of people with strong opinions that may not be very factual or informationally correct, right? Because anybody can put anything on the web. So you want to be careful about Googling something like this topic. That's why I love going to this source instead to get me started. And then here you'll see there are some related topics. I love this. If I'm not really sure where I want to go with an idea, I love looking at the related topics. So maybe I'm really interested in diversity in entertainment. That could be something that I'm really excited about. Or the Black Lives Matter movement. Maybe I feel really strongly about that, and I want to look at that in relation to anti-racism. So I love that it gives you some of these options for exploring further and maybe finding another topic that's narrowing it down to something that's really specific for you. So sometimes starting with a topic like anti-racism, it's got a big umbrella, right, with lots of different ideas underneath it. I can start digging deeper, looking more carefully, and then as I get reading some more and looking at some more things, I might decide, you know what, I really want to take a look at Black Lives Matter, and I want to talk about how does that work with anti-racism, or what is that teaching, or there's lots of things you can do. So just want you to see that this is another source that works really well to get you started in that way.